Russell here from Vicious Cycle. Today we're going to take a quick look at replacing this front brake line on our DRZ400S. This rubber hose here doesn't offer the greatest braking feel and performance, so we're going to upgrade it to a Galfer Stainless Steel Braided line. Let's take a look at how to do this install. So Galfer made this fairly easy. They made the line with the correct banjo bolt ends. We've got replacement banjo bolts and crush washers. Just taking a look here to see that everything seems to be about the right length. All of our stiffening hose seems to be about the right length. Everything looks good. We're going to disassemble this by removing the stock brake line and draining our brake fluid. So one of my first tasks here is I'm going to drain the factory brake fluid as much as I can out of the brake system. That way when I remove this line, I won't make nearly as much of a mess. It works great if you use a hose and a bottle to contain this brake fluid. That way we can dispose of it properly when we're finished. At this stage, I usually remove any of my mounting locations that will hold my brake line to the bike. That way when I remove the line from either the master cylinder or my brake caliper, I can move it any which way I'd like. Makes it a lot easier on the removal of the brake line. Next, I'm going to remove my line from my brake caliper. I remove it from the bottom first because I spill a lot less brake fluid this way. It seems that it acts like a straw with your thumb over the end if you remove it this direction. Leave it in the bottle down here. That way when I remove it from the top, it'll all run right into the bottle for me. Now I'm going to remove my brake line from the front up here at the top. My fluid should very soon be spilling into my bottle. Be careful of body work and paint work. I should really have this covered up with a rag. Prevent any brake fluid from touching the paintwork on the bike. I'm letting my fluid run down into my bottle that I left there in the last step. So our new Galfer line is correctly marked with the master cylinder here at the top. I'm just going to feed it through, just like the stock original line was. This was the clip we took off in the last step. It's going back on the new line. The same location the old one was. I get my new banjo bolts and crush washers. Make sure these all line up correctly on both my caliper and my master cylinder. So our banjo bolts and crush washers, Galfer has given us our stainless steel made out of a higher grade material than the factory components were. Of course you go a crush washer, then your brake line, then the next crush washer. So now I'm installing the other end of the line on my master cylinder. And once these are tightened down to the appropriate torque, we will need to bleed the entire brake line system. So we're going to have to take our cover off and use our bleeding system as we did before. Now we've mentioned in other videos that the cover here on our master cylinder, these screws are a Japanese Phillips, so I'm using the correct screwdriver bit and I haven't stripped them. If you do get them out and yours are stripped, we offer a kit from Eagle Mike to replace your screws with our stainless steel master cylinder screw kit. Now I'm going to be topping up my reservoir with our brake fluid carefully here, keeping an eye on it, I have the bleed screw open on the other end into our bottle. It's going to take a lot of pumping to pump this through, but within about 5 or 10 minutes we'll have this line full of brake fluid and we'll have a great system going again. I'm just putting my master cylinder cover back on. Just finished bleeding the system. Before, I could squeeze the lever all the way back to the grip fairly easily. I got great pressure, great feel with this new Galfer line. I'm going to go for a ride, test it out, maybe bleed it again if I feel there's any air still in the system, and enjoy this bike. Check us out at Vicious Cycle.ca or give us a call at 1-888-524-7921 if you have any questions. Thank you.